George, we're all George. So, good morning. Welcome to another market open stream. The bell has just rung and still working just fine. But today, let's talk about what's going on in the world of crypto, where Bitcoin can pump to by April, and what else is going on today. So, let's get started. Welcome, guys. Good morning. The U.S. market looking red today. Yesterday had a green day. Pretty good all around, especially for tech. Today, we're coming back down a little bit. Why? Why is this happening? Well, couple reasons. Even though in the U.S., it does seem like inflation is coming down, right? That Powell will be more dovish, less hawkish, right? But it does seem like other areas around the world, they don't have the same kind of enthusiasm. So it does seem like Europe, Europe led the way today with the red, and that's because the ECB, which has been very relaxed on rate hikes, they're about to kick up another one because the inflation in the Eurozone is still quite high. So this is probably what is affecting the U.S. market today. A little bit in the red. Also, the dollar is coming down. Okay, that is good. But again, when it comes to other areas around the world besides just Europe, Japan, people are kind of like wondering what's going to happen with Japan. They're in a situation where they can't even raise rates because they basically said they can't afford to pay the interest on the bonds that they already sold, right? So that's why they actually have to keep it lower. It's just a really complex situation, right? So the world is not just the U.S. There's other zones, other countries that are not doing as well as the U.S. right now. So, you know what? I think today, more or less, is caused by other areas around the world. That's okay, though. That's okay. We had a pretty tremendous run so far within this first month, and it's pretty crazy to think that this first month is almost over already, and we're heading into February soon. And as for Bitcoin and crypto, still staying very, very strong. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So what else is going on? Well, ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood, who has been a big Bitcoin bull, right? Been stocking up on Coinbase shares ever since it hit its recent low. I mean, she has millions and millions of Coinbase shares and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and some Bitcoin too. But she believes, along with a lot of people now, that we will definitely see a Fed pivot this year. She thinks second half of this year, right? Because of what I've been saying, because inflation is coming down. We're seeing softening of the economy overall. All the major metrics is showing that things are softening. Is exactly what Powell wants to see, right? And this is the reason why she believes that as we head in the latter half of 2023, things will get better. That's kind of what I said last year too, although many people thought that the first half of this year was going to be absolutely horrendous. And you put two and two together, it's like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And right now, we're seeing a good recovery, right? But will we see a bigger recovery in the second half of this year? I do believe that could be in the works. For sure. We'll see. This next FOMC meeting, which is coming in about a week, that's going to set the tone for the remainder of this year. If Powell comes out and says, you know what, I think my job is done, we're going to be stopping rate hikes, and we may even start cutting later this year. If he says anything along those lines, right, I mean, the market will be exploding. Remember, the market is forward forecasting, right? Forward thinking. It does what people think is going to happen in the future, right? So even though the rate hike is not coming this time, or rate cut, I should say, not coming this time or next time, but if traders think that it will be coming later this year, well, the market will explode in anticipation because it's forward thinking, right? So looking forward to that. Looking forward to it. And while we look forward to that, while we wait, a lot of interesting metrics about Bitcoin. This one looking at spot volume versus derivative volume, right? So when Bitcoin was low, around that 15,000 point, leverage shot up to the moon, okay? And it has come down a lot because I do think a lot of traders think that, oh, now that we're at 20, 21, 22, 23, right? This is time to be cooling it. But here's the thing. This volume does not just represent longs. It also represents shorts. And shorts have been getting absolutely wrecked for the last month or so, right? So it could also mean that the shorts are finally, or the bears have finally caved in and said, okay, this is probably stupid to keep shorting Bitcoin. We should just not short anymore. So that could also be it too. But kind of interesting to see how the volume derivative basically shot up to the moon and now it's coming back down. So this could be a good thing. This could decrease volatility, get us to consolidate, move sideways a little bit, and get ready for the next leg up. Good. Could be. Also, options trading. Volume is highest since FTX meltdown. I know no one wants to think about FTX anymore, but when that meltdown was happening, options volume was really, really low, right? It makes sense. Institutions and everyone didn't want to be in the space, didn't want to be associated. But now that FTX, we have like wiped out all of FTX losses, and we're moving forward. It's a new year, very bullish, right? It makes sense that the institutions are coming back in. Good stuff. Swiss Bank becomes the first private bank to tokenize its own shares. We've heard about tokenization for many years, and now it's starting to happen already. Not so much in the U.S., but other countries where regulations are more relaxed, you're starting to see that tokenization happen. And some people have asked, like, you know, what do you do with NFTs? Well, NFTs could also be used for this purpose too. NFTs, think about it, it's really just a digital contract, okay? Many people just see NFTs as art, but really it's digital contract. And you could tokenize or own physical things, right, with NFTs or with tokens. It really depends on how you do it, but you can do it with both. So this is pretty cool that we're starting to see that already. And I mean, there are projects also that have tokenized real estate. I know that at least one that does that. And there's other ones that are tokenizing art too, like legit, like real art, physical art. So it is starting to happen already. Be interesting to see how the future is, because I think, I don't know, maybe it's too soon to call, but you know, I would say in 10, 20 years, we're going to see a lot of, as we move everything away from analog to digital, because there's still a lot of analog stuff, a lot of paperwork everywhere, right? But who knows? Maybe in 10 to 20 years, a lot of things will just be an NFT that you digitally sign and you control, and that's it. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever get there, but hopefully. What else is going on? Genesis Creditors file security lawsuit against Barry Silbert. I keep calling him Silbert. Silbert and DCG. You know, obviously not a good situation right now with Genesis and DCG. SEC is also looking to him right now. Gemini is saying that they're going to sue Genesis and Barry. And now you have a class action lawsuit that's also suing Barry and DCG. Don't know where this is going to go, but so far, even with all this negativity, Bitcoin has been holding very well. Unlike all the previous bankruptcies that happened in 2022, where immediately, you know, Bitcoin fell, didn't happen this time. Didn't happen this time, so that's good. I don't know why this is new news, but CNBC reported again that FBI says hackers from North Korea were the ones that caused a Harmony bridge hack of $100 million, and now they're trying to swap it to other coins, right? I don't know why this is new news. This was already reported, but a lot of people have asked me, what do you think about Harmony? Is it going to come back, right? Hopefully. I like to think so, but they still not have found a way to replenish $100 million from their bridge, and also their biggest DeFi projects left. So I don't know. Hopefully, but yeah, kind of shows you how early we are in terms of some of these projects. You know, we still 2022 and 2021, even all the previous years, we saw some huge hacks, right? Now some projects were able to recover, some projects were not able to recover, right? But it shows you how early we are still, and shows you the need for individual users self-custody. But for projects, there has to be more or stricter, protocols, security protocols for hacks, audits of smart contracts. I mean, there needs to be a lot more security emphasis on the projects themselves, because they're holding hundreds of millions to billions of dollars worth of tokens and assets, right? So, unfortunately, some of the biggest hacks that happened in 2022 were all due to crypto bridges being hacked. So, projects have to do better. All right, CZ alleges that FTX paid $43 million to news organizations to publish Binance FUD. I mean, at this point, I think that's pretty believable, right? I think so. And who's the biggest one that started Binance FUD? It wasn't actually, well, SBF did, but SBF's best buddy, Kevin O'Leary, was spreading a ton of FUD about Binance too. So at this point, who knows who FTX paid, who SBF paid to spread news or bad news about Binance? I mean, I don't know. It would not surprise me one bit. All right, and then last two things I want to talk about, well, of course, is more Bitcoin stuff. But this is what I want to show you guys, okay? And this is something that I mentioned before, but this is really laid out in a very nice visual way. But we know that Bitcoin goes through 4-year cycles. We know that it's very similar every single cycle. The drawdown percentage, the drawdown time, the recovery, I mean, leading up to the next halving event, I mean, they're all so similar. They're not identical, but very, very similar, okay? And let's look at the last two. The very first cycle, back in 2013, that's not the very first, but 2013, we had a high of 1,000. We fell down to $160, and guess what happened? Before the next halving event, we hit this critical point. I don't know if it's critical, but it's a point basically showing that it's coming up. It's more than halfway up. And at that point in time, it didn't really mean anything. And then the halving event occurred, and then Bitcoin shot up, right? But why it didn't mean anything is because we didn't really have anything to compare it to. But in 2017, when we hit that 20,000, we went down to 3,000. Guess what? We hit that same point, which is marked VAH, okay? So it's not back to the previous high, but a certain percentage, right? We hit that before going sideways a little bit, and then the halving event caused Bitcoin to skyrocket once again, right? So knowing that, after we hit 69,000, we came back down, right? We formed a bottom around 15,000. Note that every single bottom is much higher than before. The first bottom was $160. The one after that was $3,000. Okay, and I've lived through both of those. And now our bottom's at $15,000, right? So the bottoms are getting much higher with every single cycle. So who knows where the bottom will be next time we come down. It could be at $50,000. So keep that in mind. But anyways, if we're following the same trajectory, we're following the same pattern, right? That would mean that on our way up, we're going to hit the same point again before we hit halving event and before we go on the next bull run, right? Sometimes it comes sooner than later. Sometimes it's right up before the halving event. So, you know, we got about a year's time to see which event, which occurrence, right, is going to happen. But if we follow what happened in 2019 when we formed that bottom and Bitcoin was very, very, very oversold. We could see a tremendous recovery just like in 2019 when we went from 3,000 to 14,000. Yes, 3,000 to 14,000 within a matter of few months, right? So that means if we're following the same pattern and we have that recovery because we were so oversold, we follow that, well, by April, that would put Bitcoin right around $43,000. That would be absolutely nutty. Absolutely nutty to be back to 40,000 by April. But hey, seeing where we are now, we have come up so much, so fast, within a matter of a month, right? Who knows? Who knows? We still have February and March. And if Fed Powell is very dovish in February and sends the market roaring upwards, can we see 30,000 in February? Certainly a possibility. And if we see 30,000 in February, can we see 35,000 by March? And then can we see 40-something thousand by April? Hey, I wouldn't bet against it. I wouldn't be a bear and short the market because you never, once Bitcoin starts moving, it's like a unstoppable object, right? So we'll see. We'll see. It's getting exciting. And of course, here's something else that shows that Bitcoin has broken out of this downtrend since November, right? It didn't just break it a little bit. Now it's clear that we have broken through by a tremendous amount. But when this was starting to happen, right? This was one of the kind of the charts that I showed, showing Bitcoin was, about to break out, and now we can certainly see that. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more to this. All right, guys. Bitcoin is still at 22.8, 22.9. We're kind of, again, consolidating now. Very low volatility. We've been holding between here and 23,000 for a week now, right? We'll see. Hey, look at this. Many New York Stock Exchange listed stocks halted for a technical issue. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's do Q&A. Wait, Bill Gates on the future of Earth, humanity. I'm still very optimistic. These days, you really can't trust Bill Gates. Xruptor on Twitch, good morning, welcome. Old Saucy, Doge, Ram Rider, welcome. All right, now let me scroll through here. Someone says, I want millions of Tesla shares. Well, had you gotten in early, maybe. Well, then you'll be a billionaire. Why is Walmart halted? Yeah, I think people... Oh, they got rid of it. New York Stock Exchange had a lot of stocks halted for some technical issue. Don't know what that's about. They're getting hacked or what? Miles, appreciate it. Which chain do you think companies will tokenize their stocks in the U.S.? My money's on ETH since regulars in the U.S. don't like BNB. I don't know. It could be any. I mean, vast majority of projects, I think I think they start with Ethereum. They may end up moving somewhere else, but I think they will. Most likely. I mean, just look at the ERC standard, right? In terms of creating tokens for projects, that's mostly done on Ethereum. So why not tokenize stocks and other properties on top of Ethereum? I mean, it already happened. There's a few projects that's doing that already. But on a bigger scale, yeah, I think most will probably do it on Ethereum or a layer 2, some kind of layer 2 for Ethereum. It just makes sense. Overall market cap, still up for a day. I know yesterday was like 1.06 trillion. Today's down just slightly, but BNB's finally coming up a little bit. Avalanche is still up. Lido is still climbing pretty good. Quan is climbing. BitDAO. Crypto market is just really strong. Ever since the new year started, been very, very, very strong. Nothing is upsetting it. Isaac, appreciate it. Am I going to attend, Blocks 3000? No, I never heard of it. Never heard of it. I don't plan on attending. Right now, I don't have plans on attending any conference. Maybe BTC 2023 again in Miami, but outside of that one, I don't know. Consensus, I think that's still in Austin, Texas. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably not. What is Tesla at right now? Tesla's up almost to 150. I'm up. When Tesla was like 110 or 115, I forgot what level. It was pretty low. I opened up a couple open calls at 150 for December. Yesterday I checked. I was at 90 plus 98% already within a matter of like 2 weeks. I don't know if I should close it because I don't know how their earnings will be. I think their earnings will be bad, but it's been skyrocketing so far. So I'm wondering if, even though it's bad, traders will just ignore it, thinking that Q1 is going to be outstanding. I think that's the case. I don't know. DK Grimm, thanks for showing me how to attain financial freedom. You're welcome. I'm glad that you're here learning. Will Catena have the opportunity to run to all-time high, and what does the team need? Craig, why is, the answer is yes. And it seems like every single day there's someone that asks me, what does Catena need to do? They need to just grow, just like every other project. There's nothing specifically, it's not like they push a button and it's going to go up to all-time high. There's nothing like that they need to do. They just need to get more adoption. They need to get more dApps and more wallets to support Catena, because right now major wallets do not support them. That's all they need to do. Just keep growing. It's a simple formula, but there's no magic button to press. Unfortunately, most people in this space thinks that if there's some magical button that a project presses, that is going to make it skyrocket to the moon. Not the case. David, that's what I want to know. But if you go to these conventions, there are a lot of people there. But unfortunately, they're all insiders. They're not normal people you would meet, because who's going to be paying $1,000 a ticket to go to these conventions? It's all people within the space. Yes, I like to meet fans, but I like to meet average fans that's looking to learn. Everyone there is, generally speaking, someone that's working for a project already, let's say, right? They're the only ones that can afford to go to these conferences and pay $1,000 or $1,500 for a ticket. It's like, what's the point? That's what aggravates me about these conferences or conventions. They need to bring down the ticket prices. You're missing out on big NFTs? Like what? I own a couple. Still down on them. Still waiting for Yuga Labs to do something with the other side NFTs, because I paid handsomely for 2 of them and I haven't really got much. Miles, I appreciate your enthusiasm, man, but your English is quite broken sometimes. And plus, okay, let's keep it more serious, my man. I know you're very happy and you're throwing out a lot of stuff, but let's keep it more serious. The Fun Digger, appreciate that. Richard, I like SBF Adventures and think it's a bad idea to quit. It's not, it costs a lot of money to make them and a lot of time. And if people are not going to enjoy them, then what's, not worth to continue, right? I thought people would enjoy it. People obviously don't like FTX or SBF, but too many people are too serious all the time. Say, oh, I refuse to watch that. Oh, I don't have a sense of humor. So it's like, okay, I'll just get rid of it. Well, my convention is coming. I will have GeorgeCon eventually, and ticket prices will be dirt cheap, and free to I Am George NFT holders. So people have been asking about that. I haven't released a new one in a long time, but ultimately it's going to be used for that purpose. What would I do if I lost all my money? Start over. What else can you do? What else can you do? You just start over. Any new Legos? Yes, I just built out the new modular building. It's like a jazz building. Actually, a pretty cool building. At first, I didn't think I liked it, but now that I've completed it, I think it's pretty cool. It's very detailed. Would you ever come to Portugal? I would visit. I would never live there. I can't imagine myself living anywhere other than the U.S., to be honest. I love to visit other places, but to move to another country, can't see myself ever doing that. Is this the end of George's OnlyFans page now that BDC? I don't know what to say about it. It would be funny if I opened up an OnlyFans and within it, I'm building Legos. I wonder if anyone has tried something like that where you're actually using it for some other purpose. That would be quite funny. Fetch AI is up 200% in 1 month. Is it too late to buy? I would say it's not too late. It's still relatively small in terms of its market cap. But yeah, probably cool off at some point and then continue higher again. AI is just, it's not, I don't think it's going to go away. I still think AI and crypto is just too early, but who knows? With enthusiasm around AI, they could be good speculative plays. Microsoft just invested huge into ChatGPT, so there could be more integration, more partnerships. I don't know. Oh, now Tesla went down. They were up, down, up, down. Overall, they're still holding pretty good. Just like crypto. Do you see a short rise until August and then maybe end of the year around the same as we are now or higher in both BTC and altcoins? I don't know. There's a lot of theories out there. People are guessing left and right. I just showed this chart. If we're following 2018, 2019, we could see a huge spike for the next few months, all the way until April. If this happens, I do think that we'll follow and continue to follow pattern 2019, where we will come down from that level because we have gone up so much so fast. But if we don't do what happened in 2018, 2019, let's say we follow what happened in 2015 and 2016, where we recover from bottom slowly and we start accelerating during or getting closer to the next halving event. If we follow that pattern, then I just see us, slowly just continue upwards until 2024, right? So right now we don't know which pattern Bitcoin is going to follow, or maybe some variation of the two. I don't know. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Overall, this is what we have to look forward to. Can we possibly hit $43,000 by April? April. That's only 3 months away, right? I guess we'll see. I guess we'll have to see. All right, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.